This website, Forgotten Soldiers WW1, constructed by Stephen John, relates to personnel who have died of injury or illness brought about by their service and not commemorated. As a result of Steve's work and dedication, the personnel who are named on the site will either have their name placed in the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance and/or a Commonwealth headstone placed on their grave where it is possible to do so. The following is a synopsis of service personnel from Swansea that Steve has traced. Samuel Brooks, Private 11925 Devonshire Regiment, born the 27th of January 1885, the son of Samuel and Rebecca Brooks, 42 Foxhole Road, Swansea. Married to Ellen Williams in 1911. Wounded at Obus Ridge, he was returned to Swansea Hospital where he died of pneumonia and influenza on the 24th of October 1918, aged 33. He was laid to rest at Dannegreg Cemetery, Port Tennant, Swansea. Archibald Caswell, aged 35, Rifleman 40560, Worcester Regiment, the son of William and Janet Caswell, 44 Trafalgar Terrace, Swansea. Whilst fighting on the Somme, he fell ill and was diagnosed with heart disease. He was hospitalized but later died. Archibald was laid to rest at Dannegreg Cemetery, Port Tennant, Swansea. Sidney Coker, Private MS, 4006 Army Service Corps. The son of George and Margaret Coker of 41 Brunswick Street, Swansea, who enlisted on the 28th of September 1914 and was posted to Bulford. He developed heart problems and was discharged on medical grounds and died at 157 King Edward Road, Swansea, on the 26th of September 1919, aged 36. His name is to be included in the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance. Frederick William Davies, Private 15709, Welsh Fusiliers, the son of Robert and Mary Eliza Davies, née Bidder, of John Street, Oystermouth. He was posted to Givenchy and over a number of months he became unwell and was invalided to his sister Ruth's home, for Castletown, Mumbles, where he died of tuberculosis on the 14th of January 1919, aged 29. He will be commemorated in the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance. William Henry Davies, Rifleman, C-108, King's Royal Corps. The son of Joseph and Martha Davies, 68 Alexandra Terrace, Bryn Mill, Swansea. He married Nora Peer Calladine at Swansea on the 12th of October 1914, whilst on leave. He saw action on the Somme, Ypres and at the Battle of Passchendaele on the 30th of November 1917. He was killed during that battle. He was 27 years old. He is remembered on the Tycot Memorial, Belgium. Thomas William George, Corporal, 6758, Royal Engineers, born in Swansea to Daniel and Harriet George. He married Mary Ellen Heffrown in Swansea on the 22nd of August 1907 and they lived at 37 Dafferty Street, Swansea. He was posted to the Western Front on the 13th of December 1914 until July 1915 when he became ill, suffering from nephritis and spent several months in hospital in London. Thomas was discharged from the army as medically unfit and died at his home 14 Kybricks Road, Coimbula, Swansea, on the 15th of November 1916, aged 32 and buried with full military honours at Cwmgelly Cemetery, Swansea. David Luelling Griffiths, Gunner, 258101, Royal Field Artillery, son of David and Jane Williams, 1 Wague Terrace, Forest Fack, Swansea. Having enlisted, he was allocated home service duties. He contracted tuberculosis and was discharged from the army on the 5th of October 1918. Sadly, he died at his home on the 12th of February 1919, aged 19. David is buried at St. Peter's Churchyard, Coquet, Swansea. Stanley Griffiths, Private, 2252, Welsh Regiment. The son of David and Sarah and Griffiths, 50 Iworth Street, Manselton, Swansea. He saw action at the Battle of Lewes where he was shot in the chest. He was evacuated and discharged from the army as medically unfit on the 3rd of October 1916, also contracting tuberculosis. He died at 50 Iworth Street, Manselton on the 4th of June 1917, aged 20, and buried with full military honours at Daniegrag Cemetery, Port Tennant, Swansea. His brother David Daniel Griffiths was killed on the opening day at the Battle of the Somme in 1916. David Morgan Jenkins, Private, 213156, Royal Engineers, son of Margaret Jenkins, 77 Carmarthen Road, Swansea. Married Margaretta Brace at Llanelli 1908 and they lived 1 Warnwen Road. He was on home service but contracted tuberculosis and was discharged from the army in 1919. He died aged 37 at his home on the 22nd of January 1918, aged 37. His name is added to the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance. Tudor Emin Jones, Rifleman S at 2072, Rifle Brigade, of Mardy. Son of Thomas Evan and Elizabeth Jones, who lied at 56 Bing Terrace, Bryn Hufford, Swansea. Tudor fought in a number of battles in France but became ill and was diagnosed with diabetes and was discharged from the army on medical grounds in May 1916. He died at the Bryn Hufford home in March 1917, aged 24, and was buried with full military honours at Coombe Gel Cemetery. Thomas John Joseph, Private 27123, Welsh Regiment, the son of Thomas and Mary and Joseph of 50 Coombath Road, Morriston. He married Catherine Buckland in Swansea in October 1910 and had 3 children. In 1915 he was sent to France and was reported missing near El Epinette in May 1915. He was found wounded and trapped in a shell hole and hospitalised, and when examined he was found to have heart disease and therefore discharged from the army. He died at his home aged 54, on the 17th of June 1919, aged 35. His name is added to the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance. Jenkins Robert Lewis, Private, 28839, Welsh Regiment. Son of David and Catherine Lewis, 4 Portia Terrace, Swansea. He was sent to France but taken ill and subsequently discharged from the army and later diagnosed with tuberculosis. He died of tuberculosis at his sister's home, 66 St Helens Road, Swansea, on the 17th of May 1918, aged 27. His name is included on the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance. William David Morgan, Private, 29412, Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, the son of William and Margaret Morgan, 23, Port Tennant Road, Swansea. He served in France for 3 years and became ill, suffering with tuberculosis, and as a result discharged from the army. He died in Swansea on the 26th of July 1919, aged 23. His name is included on the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance. Sidney Joseph Murphy, able seaman, Z. 1545, Royal Navy Voluntary Reserve, the son of Daniel and Catherine Murphy, 38 Brynmelyn Street, Swansea. He was involved in a number of war-related actions and in the winter of 1916 fought in the Somme, where a year later was shot in the leg. He was hospitalised in Manchester and later returned to France, but he was again hospitalised suffering from shell shock. After treatment he rejoined Hood Battalion but was based and invalided in February 1919. He died of tuberculosis at his parents' home on the 30th of November 1919, aged 27. Sidney is buried at Daniegrag Cemetery, Port Tennant. Edgar Proo, able seaman, Z. 1058, Royal Navy Reserve, born Mumbles, Swansea. In 1910 he married Nellie Hill and they lived at 103 Rodney Street, Swansea. He joined the Navy Reserve in 1915 and was allocated to HMS King Edward VII when it was sunk by a mine while en route to Belfast. Edgar was rescued and then was allocated to HMS Gloucester. He became ill, suffering from mitral stenosis, and discharged from the Navy. He died on 16 October 1919, aged 29, and buried at Dannegreg Cemetery, Port Tennant, Swansea. Patrick Shay, Guardsman, 1783, Irish Guards, born in County Kerry, the son of Patrick and Jessie Shay. He served with the Irish Guards for a number of years and then joined the Swansea Borough Police as PC 121, and whilst in Swansea married Lily Holmes in 1913. In 1914 he was recalled for army service and went to France. He saw service at the Battle of Mons and also seeing service at the Battle of Ypres, where he was wounded in his side and reported missing. He was hospitalized and recovered and went back on active service to the Somme. His health deteriorated and again he was in hospital suffering from tuberculosis and sent to Bath War Hospital. In 1919 he was discharged from the army as medically unfit and returned to Swansea, where he died in the arms of his brother John at 107 Terrace Road, Swansea on 10 May 1919, aged 37. He is commemorated on the United Kingdom Book of Remembrance and also on a war memorial plaque at Central Police Station, Swansea. John William Somers, Ordinary Seaman, J44808, Royal Navy, buried Oystermouth Cemetery, Swansea. John lived with his family at Mill Lane, Blackpill, Swansea, with his parents John and Harriet. He joined the Royal Navy in 1918 and posted to HMS Prince of Wales. John became ill after contracting tuberculosis and discharged from the Navy. He died at Kimler Memorial Hospital, Neath on 8 July 1919, aged 19. David George Thomas, Private 44386, Welsh Regiment, son of John and Sarah Thomas, 29 Plymouth Street, Swansea. He was posted to France in 1916 and served on the Somme for a month, where he was gassed and invalided home and subsequently discharged for the army on 8 September 1916 as medically unfit. He died at his home, Plymouth Street, on 19 February 1917, aged 25. David was buried with full military honours at Dannegreg Cemetery, Port Tennant, Swansea. William Griffith Thomas, Private, 1463, Royal Army Medical Corps. The son of Roland Henry and Emily Thomas, 72 Norfolk Street, Mount Pleasant, Swansea. He joined the 3rd Welsh Field Ambulance at the start of the war and posted to Coddenham, Suffolk, and whisked there contracted pneumonia and as a result hospitalized. He got worse and contracted tuberculosis and was discharged from the army. On the 2nd of March 1919 he died of tuberculosis at his home, 136 Carmarthen Road, Coombe Beulah, Swansea. He is buried in St John's Churchyard,